Hello, Joy Olson of Blockbuster Fundraising. Giving Tuesday. Happy Giving Tuesday. I hope that you're doing great things with your Giving Tuesday campaign, and I also hope that you've got those new donor welcome packets ready to go and your new donor thank you letter, because I think that one of the most fabulous things about Giving Tuesday is the acquisition possibilities and potential that you have. So take good care of those new donors. That's my Giving Tuesday message today, besides lots of good luck. I thought that this would be a perfect day to review some annual appeals and Thanksgiving cards that have come in. So just little tips and ideas that we can look at, because you've got only about 35 days of fundraising left this year, and I know that you're going to be sending out a holiday card, a holiday letter, lots of emails. So I think any tips that we can come up with will be helpful. All right, well, the first card that I wanted to show you that I received, and it's an organization that I talk about a lot, is Save the Children. And they, of course, have had a wonderful new donor packet, and I feel like a very valued member now of Save the Children. And they sent me a nice thank you Thanksgiving card. And as you can see inside, they do say, they do address me. It's a little bit formal, Dear Mrs. Joy Olson. And it is signed by the CEO, and it's nice. It's not real personal, but it's nice, and then they have a little mission story on the back. So that was my organization that I just joined. I'm a monthly donor, and that's what I received. So I can't say that I immediately wanted to give them another gift, but I felt that I was recognized. Next card I got is really wonderful. We'll show you on the screen, but it is hand addressed, and I really like that, so I'm excited. It's like getting a birthday card or something special from someone. It's all hand addressed, and when I opened it up, it had a nice picture of the mission. And I think that your images always are so important, but especially this time of year, you want to send out to your donors an image that just reflects the heartwarming message of your mission. So I was impressed, and then I opened it up, and there's a nice message, plus 2 personal handwritten messages from the staff. So this is very lovely. And then a little bit on the back about their mission and their numbers and how to get a hold of them. So way to go. This I really loved. Lots of personalization, and I felt like they were really had a lot of gratitude for my gift and support. Now, another organization that I got a Thanksgiving card from that I wanted to share with you is an organization that I talk about a lot, that I love, and I usually glean so much information from every communication they send out because they do a good job. Well, the Shriners Hospital, the envelope was kind of a turn off a little bit, very formalized, and then it says Office of Development, and I don't really care about the Office of Development, even though I'm a development person. I care about all those kiddos. So it's a little formal, too formal for me. But the Thanksgiving card, the cover, made up for it. It was a little picture done, and it says on the back by artwork done by one of the Shriner kids, their 6-year-old. So it's really lovely. Okay, so now I open it up, and it's really, you'll see on the screen, no signs, kind of no nothing. Your friends in development. And guess what else they put in here? An ask. So I don't know. I don't think your Thanksgiving greeting card is the gratitude is time for an ask. So I was kind of surprised. All right, so those are 3 examples of cards that I got. And you know what makes the day for me is the personalization and the image that makes me feel like, oh, I'm so glad I'm supporting them. So hopefully you can get some kind of a good idea from that. Now, I have received a lot of annual appeals, and one that I want to go back to, an envelope, because envelopes make a lot of difference. They really make a lot of difference to me. I get stacks and stacks of mail, and if an envelope doesn't look just right, it may get tossed out. Maybe that's a terrible thing to say, but if an envelope looks like this, and this was the Thanksgiving, that really had a picture that grabbed me, and then also the beginning of the story, Maggie's life is better because you cared. You better believe I'm gonna open up this envelope. So I wanted to go back to that. If you have any way, and I'm sure you do, have the flexibility of changing your year-end envelope, this is a perfect idea. And if you can't do it for this year, perhaps save it for next year. Also, another thing I really loved about this, they had darling little testimonials on the back of the envelope. So while you're getting ready to rip it open, you can see, "Thank you so much for helping us find the perfect new member of our household. Willie couldn't be more perfect. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to give Ember a forever home." And all of a sudden you're thinking, "Oh, I'm so glad I donate to this organization." So if I were you, I'd steal or copy that idea too. Start the story on your envelope and throw a few testimonials their way while they're opening the envelope. All right? That's my tip. I have something to talk about now that I hope that my examples can show you. It really dawns on me when I get my letters that, especially when most of the letter, the top of the letter, and I think we'll put one up on the screen, is taken up with the barcode and the name in a window envelope, it's really wasted real estate. And this one I received from ASPCA, and they didn't have to do it that way, but they kind of wasted the real estate too. It didn't really start until the fold. I really think if you want to get your donors' information is try to get your picture, and they did this, they got it as high as possible, I guess for their design. Get it up high. You know, don't make people start looking down. Again, they called me dear friend. That really never does it for me, especially when I've given a fairly nice donation, but I get dear friend. I went back in my files, my personal letters, and I get dear friend for acquisition letters, and this was an acquisition letter that we did. And dear friends of So Humane, we'll put it up on the screen so you can see it better. And we got the picture up, and do you sometimes feel that life is a gambler? This is all about a dog named Blackjack. So don't waste valuable real estate on top with all this barcode, and gosh, it looks like the letter just kind of came from prison or something. And I wanted to give you an example of what to do then. And I'm going back to the Maggie story. Their letter starts out, look, they don't waste that real estate at all. Clear up on the top. Dear Joy, Maggie sensed something was wrong. Wow, I'm hooked. I'm into it. And now if you look at this letter, and there's a great big picture of Maggie, here is where they have put their barcode and the return coupon, the return insert. So I think, and then fold it up so it doesn't, it's at the bottom. And then you can use it if you want to use it, if you're dedicated to the window number 10 envelopes. You still keep such personalization this way because this is on the bottom, and when they open it up, it's like getting a letter from someone you really know, not like a bunch of barcodes and You get the picture, right? I noticed that Salvation Army also did this. They put the return clear down at the bottom. But I didn't think that they're a pot with people putting money in it. That wasn't an image that really got to my heart about doing the most good, but it definitely is symbolic of the Salvation Army. So I don't know, you have to figure it out from there. Okay, so that's what I thought I would go through immediately right now to from just what I have received. But now what I'd like to do next is show you some letters that are samples from, it was a little opportunity that I could buy a pack of letters, and I thought I would purchase these and show them to you, and possibly you could glean a few great ideas for the next 30 days for your communications. So let's take a look at those, okay? Lots of good ideas coming right up. Okay, this will be what Better Fundraising thinks and what I think. Okay, the first letter that you're looking at it's to the arts, and once again I think they've wasted kind of a lot of valuable space up on top. I think they should have moved the picture up higher. I'm not sure that the image is a motivator. But what this letter, the idea here is your gift will put one quilt or fiber art piece in the next exhibit. So maybe it is. It's all, the letter is a focus of one thing. And so Better Fundraising says that this is a great mention of what the donor's gift will do. And they do that right at the top of the page in a box. And they also personalize, Dear John, that's good. And then their first sentence, you're going to love what happened at the museum recently. Hey, so it's personalized. It's about you. Oh, you're going to love this. Saying, oh, what am I going to love? So it really communicates right away to the donor that this letter is to them and about them and something that they're going to like. Okay, now if we go down to the bottom of the letter and the reply, it's really interesting to note that the headline on the reply card echoes the ask in the offer. My gift for quilt and fiber arts exhibits and programs. So it's very, very clear what your gift is going to do and what they want you to do. So I think that is important. And then you'll notice too what they've done. The ask amounts are in increments of the offer amount, which is the $115. So if you use, they say, a specific dollar amount, do this. Do not talk about different things. Example, like $75 would provide a textile, $115 provides a quilt. And here's what they say about this, that this is proven through testing to lower response and average gift amount. So their advice is focus on one thing, then offer donors the chance to do multiples of that one thing. Like, this is what it costs to do this art quilt. This is what it costs to save this dog. If you want to do more, we can save 2 dogs, or we can save 3 dogs, or we can do 3 quilts. So you get the picture. I thought that was interesting and worthy of notation. So I wanted to share that with you. All right, the next letter I think that we're going to look at, it's the same letter, and let's note that they use a lot of bolded sentences. Now this is important because if you only read the bolded sentences on this page, you're going to know what the letter is about. And you know how often we talk about that your donors are going to scan your letters. They're not going to read it word for word. So remember that, and this letter is, I say, a very good example of that. And then they have a paragraph there that offers a full explanation of how the donor's gift will be used. But notice that it's only one paragraph. So in other words, make this letter exciting and about the donor and donor-centric. Don't go on and on about the details. They also put in a great PS, which I think by now we all know how important a PS is, because lots. I think it's Tom Ahrens that says that lots of times they only read the PS in the letter. I'm not sure it's Tom, but it could be. Okay, so they say in this particular letter, I don't know whether you can see it there on your screen, we plan for even more pieces on exhibit next year, including a special Japanese quilt. Your gift now is even more important. They could have been much more effective, the experts say, if they repeated the $115 offer. Here you get to the very bottom and they're talking about next year. You want to keep it very specific, very current, and you really, it would even be better to say, we need this to make this happen by such and such a date. Don't opt out for next year. Okay, now let's look at an example of an outer envelope. I know you saw the one that I love so much with the beginning of the story and the picture, the image on the outer envelope. But this might be a good idea for your December 31st if you've got a snail mail going out in a December 31st. Last chance to double your gift. Reminder, December 31st deadline. So you can see that there, that highlighting the deadline is a great tactic. Always remember that sense of urgency. And then the neat thing about that envelope, and I don't know whether you can see it, but if you turn it upside down on the back, I don't know what you call that, the fold, it says matching grant doubles your gift. And they thought that was a very good idea to add a short note on the back side of your envelope to increase the chance that someone will open it and read your letter. Kind of like the testimonials. I love the testimonials on the Oregon Humane Society's envelope. So the point here is make use of your envelope. Don't make it easy to toss it. Make it exciting and interesting. Let's see, let's talk about the December 31st deadline. This is a letter, and you can copy this. I think it could probably really work. And it gets right to the point, they say. It acknowledges that the donors have heard from the organization before. They say, Dear Joy, I know I wrote to you recently, but I wanted to send you another opportunity to double your gift to help mothers and children, including those who are fleeing violence in the war zone. They're giving me another opportunity to double my gift. And that's really pretty wonderful. So they absolutely are not letting me off the hook without one more time. They say here to notice that the donors, they don't have to read any more than the headline and the first paragraph to get the point of the letter. So I think you might want to remember that. That's a really good trick. And then also they, if you're sophisticated with your database and have good merge fields, that you can use merge fields to present donors with gift amounts that are at or just above what they gave last time. Now this is really important to note that, because it is a very effective way of kind of moves management, of upgrading your donors. I know you've got a lot of donors, or at least I used to have a lot of donors, that the same gift year after year. Look, if they believe in your mission and you've got a matching gift, you want to upgrade them and talk to them and say, you know, for example, your kind gift of $250 will be doubled to $500. But you must respond by December, here they use 31st. So anyhow, you get the idea. Okay, next example here, we have a, I'm skipping kind of around it to ones I really like or want to point out maybe I don't like. This one is an example. They said to use holiday-ish clip art. I don't care for that at all. Feels like something that we did when we were in junior high school or something. So, and it has no image at all. I say go for an image. And then on top it's all that barcode and name, and I don't know. To me, I really don't like anything about the top of this, and I don't care for the holiday-ish clip art. But they say that notice how little of the content on the page is about the organization. It's about the donor and the beneficiaries. The donor can help. Okay, well look, so they're commenting on what great content is there and how donor-centric it is. If I got this letter, I honestly probably would not read it, because you just get too much mail this kind of year, this time of year. And it just has nothing that's going to keep me interested. They did use underlining and bolding to emphasize. And the one thing that I really like about the letter is that down at the bottom it says they break the page in the middle of the sentence to increase the chance of your donor turning the page. So that's a good tip. So remember that. That's a really good tip. But you know what? My tip is put a great, touching, wonderful image on top so they get to the bottom of the page. Because otherwise, I don't know. It says that notice that the letter does not feature a success story. It's mostly about how the donor will feel when they help people in need. So you don't have, they say, you don't have to share a success story in your year-end letter, that there are better times and places. I don't agree with that. If your mission is to save animals, I think you want to make your donor feel great about saying, look who we saved just this December. We couldn't have done that without your Thanksgiving gift. So this is, I don't think that this is the time to be shy about using an image. If it's a success image, that's fine. On the back side of this particular second page of this letter, it says the location is about 1/3 of the way down the page on the back side where they put information about the organization. So I really do think that, and they say this is where it should go. In other words, these letters year end are not about you or your organization. Who cares? What you care about is that you're helping the donor feel good about their gift to help the animals, the arts, the children. That's what they want to know that their donation is doing. They really don't want to know too much about your organization. Again, always remember the PS, because the PS can summarize your letter and your call to action, and they did a good job. They said, please don't wait. Reach out to families in poverty today by returning blah, blah, blah. So that is a very good thing. Okay, the next letter that we're talking about, and I got a letter like this, and it was a card, and you send it back. But this letter that they used was Dear Friend. In fact, I think my letter said Dear Friend. I should have brought it down, but I didn't care for it well enough to show it to you. But you sign the holiday card and you send it back to someone. This was like to children, I think, and with your gift. So this one says Dear Friend, which I don't like. And then it says, this card can give children and adults being treated here. Notice that the donor is being given the opportunity to directly impact a beneficiary, not help the organization help a beneficiary. But you are helping one-on-one. And this is extremely powerful, and it is extremely powerful. So that's very important. And then you notice down at the bottom, they break the page in the middle of the sentence to increase the likelihood that they turn it over. And we mentioned that before, and that is a good point. So we pointed it out twice. Then on the second page, they talk about the story, which I think is kind of a long ways to get to the story. But the important point here is that notice that Phoebe's story is not complete. There's still a role for the donor to play. In other words, you want to keep them involved. You need their help. You don't want to just talk about everything that's already done. So I say Phoebe began her treatment in Sample Children's Hospital and then came to join us here at the clinic, and things are going very well for her now. But she still has 7 more months of treatment ahead of her before we can say she's out of danger. So she's in danger until you help. So you get the point. Okay? Then they've got another PS that emphasizes the call to action, which is a good thing. Okay, you got to use that PS wisely. You don't want to tell them about something that's coming up next year. That's not wise use of the PS. Okay, now let's talk about another letter here, and it's an example of a social service. And what they do is they put, like Maggie's story, on the envelope. They put a picture on the envelope with a caption, and it says, urgent Christmas needs, safe and warm housing for a local family living in their car. And they show these 2 little kids trying to keep warm in the car. Wow, that's meaningful, don't you think? So the experts say it's a great statement of need as well as what the donor's gift will do. And it's right on the envelope. Don't you want to know more about these kids and how they're making it? So I think it's a very good envelope. And then they have, this is a really good idea, and I think a unique idea. They have 2 versions of their reply form. And listen to this. It says, this organization was not able to customize the gift ask amounts for each donor. And I don't think a lot of us are. So they sent out 2 different reply devices with ask amounts that correspond to the offer amount to all of their lower value donors. And then they sent out another reply amount, just like this one, but with higher ask amounts to their major donors. This is really important. So take note of that. And I think that's an excellent idea. You want them to upgrade, not downgrade. You don't want to ask somebody that's a minimum $250 donor to give you $75. Okay, let's look at their letter. they have the picture still of the kids in the car, the same caption. You can bring hope, help, and a home to homeless children this Christmas. A little bit different caption. And I think that's a really good idea. Caption your photos, okay? Whether it's on your envelope or in your letter. I, once again, think that that's a lot of wasted space on the top. You know, fundraising letters aren't like our resume letters or our business letters. Fundraising letters are warm and fuzzy. They're almost like being a grandparent, getting a touching, darling letter from your grandkid, and maybe they've drawn you a picture, or you don't want it to look like a resume that somebody's sending. So I think when you have, you know, the logo and the name all typed out and the barcodes and on the top third of your page, it's just not warm and fuzzy. I would really try to avoid that. They do personalize well. They do Dear Doug, and then about the third of the way letter down, they use Doug's name again in a merge field to address the donor by name. So the more personalization, the better, and they've certainly done that. And then we've already talked about how the image is repeated again. Strong, that's good. And then we've talked about always have captions, and I think this is so important. And it says they're going to read your captions. They may skim your letter, but they're going to read your image captions. So isn't that a good idea? I was excited to share that with you. In this letter, they give gift amounts that they're looking for, and on the second page, and these gift amounts give the donor a great sense of what size gift will make a meaningful difference. So they say, the experts say, do this too if you can. Do you see that there? We'll zoom in on that. Will you give hope and help to homeless children and their parents in our community? And then they talk about a gift of $43.41 provides one night of desperately needed shelter. A gift of $86.82 will provide 2 nights in an emergency shelter. And a gift of $130.23 will provide 3 nights. So what they've done is they're going for one item. Give shelter. Give shelter to homeless families and people that need to get out of the cold, that need to get out of their car. And they stay very focused on that. So I think it's a really good idea. Not only that, they have a deadline for their gift. Let's go down to that. Having a deadline is always a perfect idea. It says you can turn this Christmas around for a mom like Anne Marie by sending your gift by December 21st. So there you've got a sense of urgency. Now go further down the letter to the PS. It's perfect. They personalized the letter again. Doug, your gift will help a family get safely housed. Please remember to send your gift by December 21st. So isn't this perfect? Because they've personalized it, they've told you again what your gift is going to do, and they've given it a sense of urgency. They need this gift by December 21st. So the experts say even if the PS was the only thing that the donor read, which is true far more often than you think, then the donor knows what to do. You know, they made a note here that with this letter, they did 3 times better than they did with their Christmas letter the year before. So how you structure your content is so important. So did you get some good ideas? I hope so. I wanted you to have those in your bag of fundraising best practices for glorious Blockbuster year-end results. Okay, happy Giving Tuesday. Oh, we don't have long to go now. Oh my goodness, 31 days in December and just a couple little days left in November. So I know you're busy, busy, busy. So I'm out of here. I'll let you get back to work. Joy Olson at blockbusterfundraising.com and joyolsongroup.com. Hundreds of free fundraising video tips on our YouTube channel. And we're here with you right through to December 31st, trying to give you every best tip and idea, new tweak that we can think of. So good luck. See you again soon. Thanks. And look for us every Tuesday at 1 o'clock for our 1 o'clock live. Plus, we'll get new information to you each and every day. Bye-bye. Thank you.